So when I first saw the trailer for this movie, the first thing that I thought was, why is it when the gods change into those weird little things, do they look like they're wearing suits made by Tony Stark? Gods of Egypt. So first off, yes, this is a new background, but the reason for that is I've got a friend staying with me for a while, and there's now a mattress in the area where I normally stand, and so I'm now sat on my bed, hence the change of background. With that out of the way, let's talk about Gods of Egypt. So Gods of Egypt stars Gerard Butler and Jaime Lannister from Game of Thrones. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his name because I just know I can't. I will leave it down here for you guys to read, but I will not be able to pronounce his name. And in this movie, when Jaime is about to be crowned king by his father's brother, played by Gerard Butler, comes down, kills him, blinds Jaime, and then basically takes over Egypt. But now Gerard Butler's reign is just destroying all of Egypt. It's destroying all life there. And Beck, played by some actor who I really don't know the name of, goes to search for Jaime Lannister to bring him back and get revenge and stop Gerard Butler. And that's the movie. And is it a good movie? No, it's not. It is fucking awful. First off, the positives. I will say that Gerard Butler and Jaime Lannister do give good performances in the movie. It's certainly not their best performances by far, but they do seem to have fun in the roles that they're in. And the visual effects when the camera's panning over all of Egypt, I think look really nice. However, I think that's where they blew all of their special effects budget, just doing the tracking shots of Egypt. Because after that, every CGI effect is so noticeable. I mean, it's painfully noticeable. It's so obviously done on a green screen that it's not even funny. You can tell that these scenes were done by a computer. For example, there is this one scene where there's a fight on top of a waterfall, and it just looks like it was pulled right out of a video game. It looked awful. It was laughably bad. I couldn't believe it when I was watching it. I was like, are you really doing this right now? Could you not afford to clean this up? The rest of the performances you don't really give a shit about. Beck and his girlfriend side of the story I really didn't give a crap about. It reminded me quite a bit of Aladdin due to the fact that he's a thief. But those two characters I didn't give a shit about, and I thought the performances were really bad. And Chadwick Boseman's in this movie. The guy who plays Black Panther, he's in here. And I'm so glad I got to see him as Black Panther before I saw him in this movie. Otherwise, I may have had my doubts. This movie is also directed by the same guy who directed I, Robot and Knowing. Now, I, Robot, I don't mind. I think it's a fun, entertaining movie. Not a good movie, but fun and entertaining that you could watch maybe on a Saturday night with your friends. And Knowing, although it's not a good movie, I do think it has some good moments in there that do make it watchable. And apart from the action scenes, which are quite fun at times, this movie isn't all that well directed by this guy. And that let me down a little bit. Knowing that he made these two movies, I was expecting to go in and have a bit of fun with it. I will say I had a bit of fun laughing at it because it was that bad. But the main thing I just could not stand in this movie was the script. The dialogue in this movie is awful. It doesn't feel natural at all. All of the attempts of humour fail. The love stories in the movie are very, very forced and pushed into your face. And everything happens so quickly, considering this is a 2-hour-long movie, and boy does it feel like it. It feels like these characters are just going from place to place just to have shit happen to them so they can escape in some sort of cool, action-packed, epic way. But the way the scenes carried on to the next scene, it just didn't work. Guys, I absolutely hated this movie, which it does pain me to say a little because I wanted to go into this knowing that I'm going to get a bit of fun, but I could just switch my brain off and enjoy a good movie. But this was so bad I couldn't even do that. And so I'm going to have to give Gods of Egypt 1 star. So I did see this movie with Sam Bates. He seemed to really love the movie, so here are his thoughts on Gods of Egypt.
The Gods of Egypt. So as Josh explained, The Gods of Egypt stars Gerard Butler, who plays, of course, Set, the evil god of the Nile and the desert, who wishes to take over from Horus, who's played by an actor who I can't pronounce, so don't ask me to, Christian something. You'll know him as Jaime Lannister from Game of Thrones. He was brilliant as Horus. Really, really good. Heroic, powerful, good character. Set was also very, very good. Gerard Butler played this character great. There are some fantastic battle speeches in this that makes him a warrior of evil, and it's brilliant the way they represent him. Of course, he's helped from his friend Beck, who is a local man who is married to a girl, who is married to the girl of his dreams, who has lived in this village, become a slave all his life, and he this film is basically about, as Josh explained, him helping Horus to take back Egypt from evil Set, who's just murdered his mother and father, who were played really well in this. His wife, Nymphadira, the goddess of the winds, became Set's slave, and also she was fantastic in this movie. Can't remember the actress's name, but it was really, really good. It was also help from the god of wisdom, Morcora, which George Zale, I think his name is. But apart from that, it was really good. This movie is fantastic, brilliant. This completely destroys Percy Jackson. Now, if you're a fan of myths, and if you read Rick Riordan books, Percy Jackson books, there's also books on Egyptian god called the Kane Chronicles, which you might know, you will love this film. I wouldn't say it is the best film of the year, but I would say it is thrilling, it is brilliant, adventurous. There are fantastic scenes in this, great action shots, the storyline is terrific, the mythology facts are spot on. This film is great for the family. You get to learn a lot about the history of the gods, you get to learn about the path of the underworld. Now, if you already know about this, you've learned it from history. As you'll know, in the Egyptian underworld there are 5 gates that you need to pass, and then you have the final gate, called the Gate of Truth. And the way they show the path to the underworld, because Egyptians believe there are 5 gates, and then you have to pass the Gate of Truth to either go to the Egyptian heaven, which is called Elysis, if you don't know that, and also the death be trapped in. If you don't pass the judgment, the Feather of Truth, you have to go to the gates of judgment, which is evil, like the hell of the Greek gods. And this is a bit like the Greeks, because you kind of see Set as Zeus, and you kind of see Horus as Hades. You kind of see, Set as Set as Hades? What am I saying? Think about that. Alright, it's my fault. Set as Hades, and Horus as Zeus. I just called Horus a bad guy. I'm probably going to get destroyed by that. Damned in hell. Anyway, so this film is brilliant. The effects are great. The writing, this is good direction. It had good storytelling. It had great, perfect chemistry moments. There is this lovely moment between Beck and his wife, where basically there's some lovely moments of love in this. Like, you get to see a lot of love moments, like when Beck and his wife, I don't want to spoil it for you. I really want to spoil it. I can't spoil it for you because you want to watch it, don't you? But the way the gods represented are good. I did feel they were too big. I mean, I get the whole absorbing into the actual godly form, because that's what it's supposed to look like, but I just feel they were a bit too big. They did look a bit, they didn't have to be that big. But apart from that, this movie is fantastic. There is this they have this usual chaos taking over the earth, and Set's basically not just want to become king of Egypt, he wants to reshape the world. I think Gerard Butler's portrayal of this psychopathic, power-hungry god is brilliant. And he basically wants chaos to take over the world and reshape it. And there's this usual, Horus has to, earn his courage and earn his power, not by his eye, but, by, and I'm not going to reveal it, but he's got a task that he's got to complete in order to win. And Beck's got to help him along the way. So there's this great, 5 trials thing where they've got to go. There's where they've got to go to the Sphinx, they've got to go to the forest, they've got to go to, they've got to go to these places to defeat Set. And the way they represent, there's the Sphinx in this, the way they represent the Sphinx in this is brilliant, because I didn't want it to look too CGI, and it didn't. I didn't want it to be I didn't want them to take things from Harry Potter, I didn't want them to take things from Percy Jackson, I didn't want them to take things from Lord of the Rings. They kept the movie to themselves. There is one flaw, I will say. The Chaos Worm, which called Galapagos, is basically destined to destroy the world and plunge the world into chaos. I think it looked a bit too much like Green Lantern bad guy. Like, if you've seen Green Lantern, you'll know that Destructo is supposed to destroy the world. And it looked a little bit too much like this. But apart from that, I have to say this movie is incredibly edge of your seat stuff. Your kids will love it. And if you're a fan of myths, fantasy, and just amazing battle scenes, like there's this massive final battle of the world on top of Set's creation that's thrilling, and there's some really gasping moments in this, and for that reason I'm going to give Gods of Egypt 4 stars. Back to you, Josh.
So, Gods of Egypt, have you guys seen it yet? What did you think about it? Whatever you thought, let me know in the comment section below. Thanks ever so much for watching, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share the video with your friends, and if you want to see more videos like this one, then subscribe to my channel for more. Thanks ever so much for watching again, guys, and I will see you in the next video.